right, how's it going, everybody? It's the Habs Tonight post-game show with myself, Adrian, and Marco. How's it going, boys?
It's going well. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, everything good over here on my end. Happy holidays, everyone at home as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the hockey tonight. We got a lot to cover, both with the Habs in Canada.
Yeah, one game better than the other, though.
To say the least.
Oh my God, it's like we've seen this before. I wonder where, but it's exactly the same game as last time we played Tampa. Unfortunate ending with Tampa winning 4-3 there in overtime. But a lot of positives to talk about, though. And the first guy I need to talk about is Raphaël Harvey-Pinard. Gets his first in the National Hockey League in his first game. Adrian, what'd you think of that goal, man?
Oh, it was pretty mint, man. I couldn't been saying that a lot lately, but no, it was good. I was again, he was in the right time at the right place, I guess you can say. He was kind of like the Johnny on the spot there, and taps it in for his first goal. He's been pretty good. Obviously, for Laval, he's been a pretty noticeable player the last little while when he's been down there. So happy to see him get that opportunity to come up with the team, obviously, with the injury and COVID situation with Montreal Canadiens. But no, overall, yeah, couldn't have happened to a better guy. He's a great player, works hard, and yeah, can't go wrong with that.
Right on. Marco, what'd you think, man?
Yeah, for sure. I think if I'm I wouldn't have written better myself. That's really a fairy tale start to anyone who plays their first NHL game. You grab a goal in your first game, and it was an important goal too at that. So I mean, regardless of the scoreline, it was a great game overall, and it's going to be one for the memory bank for him for sure.
That's right. And quick shout out to Corey Schooneman, who also got an assist on that goal. Played a good game. I mean, 11 minutes, 1 assist, 1 shot on goal, 1 hit, 1 block. So good stuff for him. And another first goal in the NHL tonight was Cale Clague, or Clag. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. I've heard both.
I'm pretty sure it's Clague.
Yeah, I think it's Clague. Whatever. Yeah.
Well, I heard an interview and he said Clague, so we'll go with that. But Cale, if you're watching, please correct us if we're wrong. But yeah, ripped it. Absolute rocket from Cale there. Beautiful first goal, and he seemed pretty happy about it.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, to be honest with you, my stream was kind of lagging out, so unfortunately I didn't see the goal. But I heard it was a ripper. So good for him to get his first on the first of his career. I mean, and yeah, can't go wrong with that. It's always good. Get that first one out of the way.
Yeah, it's a real nice play by Paling too on that play there to feed him, and just the 1T on the slap shot to beat the goalie. It was beautiful for him, and you saw him after with his celly. He was buzzing after that goal.
Yeah,
and I remember when we first picked him up off waivers, I was talking about what a shot this guy has, and he's shown it for us right there. So I couldn't be happier myself to see that happening live. It's a great sight.
Yeah. Oh, so happy for him. And hey, if we're talking about lasers tonight, David Savard showed up.
Ooh.
Feeling like Ovechkin somehow. I don't know where he pulled that one off, but dangles Victor Hedman out of anybody. Victor Hedman completely dangles him and then snipes at top corner. What a beautiful goal from a guy that you're really not expecting to see that from, eh?
You know, for like a shutdown defenseman, I guess you can call him like a defensive defenseman, shutdown defenseman. He actually has really good hands. Like I was looking at some of his highlights when Montreal signed him. I was just kind of going through YouTube and looking at some of his highlights. He scored like a nasty goal in the 2019 playoffs against Tampa, actually. And again, dangled Victor Hedman. And it's just crazy. Like he scores big goals against Tampa, I find. And obviously he played for them, but yeah, no, he's for a guy who's more of like a defensive defenseman. He's got good hands. I gotta say, it was a pretty nice goal. You'll be seeing that for quite a bit.
Oh yeah, he definitely showed off those hands there. I mean, against his former team too, it was just an absolute beauty of a goal in every sense of the word. And yeah, I was surprised too when I saw that because, like you said, Adrian, he's a real shutdown defenseman. He's more on the defensive side of things. So when I saw him break out the hands over there against Hedman, and then snipe it top shelf. I was taken aback a little bit, and I was buzzing just like he was.
Gross. It was so nice to see, and again, another guy that was pretty pumped up to get that goal. That was the go-ahead goal before Corey Perry ruined our dreams once again. My
Party
God, this
Pooper
guy.
Perry.
You know, you love him so much, but my God, it's so it hurts so bad. It cuts deep. It cuts deep.
Oh,
but
it really does.
Spain without the S.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it sucks. It sucks. But quick shout out also to Brayden Point. I mean, this is his first game back from pretty serious injury, and doesn't seem like he's missed a beat. Really, some pretty nice goals there. You know, obviously you got to give respect to him in Tampa. They did play a good game, and he certainly did. Help Perry at the end score the tying goal. But yeah, Brayden Point is so impressive. Like what a player that guy is.
Yeah, like it's crazy how, you know, before, like for years in Tampa, it was Stamkos's team, right? And I think it still kind of is, but the way that Brayden Point's kind of come out and, you know, kind of broken out as like their, you know, their star player, I guess you can say. Stamkos is obviously still at that high level of play, but he's really taken the team by storm, obviously being a tremendous playoff performer the last 2 seasons, and obviously back-to-back cups. He's been a big contributor. So yeah, he's a game breaker, that guy. He's just phenomenal. For a guy, I think it was like a 3rd or 4th round pick, like
pretty
in 2014.
Elite,
yeah. Unreal, yeah. Pretty elite, yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, he's a real X factor player when you break it down to it, and he had a great showing tonight. It's his first game back from injury. He missed I think it was like 4 weeks or something with an upper body injury, and I mean his return was unreal. Like I wasn't expecting him to, like, obviously he's a great player. I wasn't expecting him to be this buzzing on return, especially against the Habs. But I mean, no, you look at it, it's unreal what this guy could do with the puck. And Tampa Bay will be a wagon even more than they are now once Kucherov gets back too. I'm telling you, that team's got depth and it's scary. And mentioning to Cirelli, he didn't even play tonight. So imagine when he's on board too. Real wagon.
Even Vasilevsky, right? This was their 3rd string goalie. So, and shout out to Maxime Lagacé that he performed pretty well tonight. They're stopping, let me see, 27 shots. So, congrats to him. And if we want to talk about goalies here, what do you guys think of Samuel Montembeault tonight?
I think he played a great game. He made a couple of big saves early on. The couple of breakaway saves on Alex Killorn there. Big saves when he had to. They had penalty kills and he was keeping them in it. He was a big reason why they were still in the game. Obviously, the unfortunate ending and stuff like that. But no, he's been, honestly, like Montembeault has been keeping them in a lot of the games this year. Like I know the first one he played against Buffalo was kind of concerning, but he kind of has come into his own. He played good in the Boston game, like I think it was last month. They kind of just hung him out to dry. Unfortunately, they just didn't have any run support for him. But he's played good this year. He's had some really strong games. It's just no run support, unfortunately, when they need it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. I mean, I've said it before. I think Montembeault has kept him in a lot of games this season. He's definitely held his own fort for the Habs, and he had another great showing tonight. He was there when we needed him to be. Maybe it was a little late on one of the goals, but apart from that, I mean, he was part of the reason why the game was so close. And it's really good for us to see him play that way too, especially since we know Primo got the nod the last game, and maybe people are saying this could be a little bit of a hit for his confidence, especially the way he's been reliable for us all season. So to see him make his comeback and to do it in a big way, I mean, it would have been perfect if he got the win. Party Pooper Perry over there in company had spoiler for him, but no, yeah, great showing from him, and it just shows that if Jake Allen goes down, we'll be all right with our goalies. Montreal's never had a problem with goalies, and I don't think they will for a long time.
Yeah, he's a great, I guess, 2nd, 3rd kind of guy. And you know, I'm happy to see him perform well. I mean, 32 saves tonight is no small feat, especially against Tampa Bay, which is, like you said, Marco, they're a wagon. So Nothing but good things to say about Montembeault tonight. There is another thing, though. Questionable decision by Dominique Ducharme, as this comment here is saying. Playing Kulak in overtime, the first shift to terrible giveaway there. I mean, okay, yeah, he got smacked pretty hard, but again, Evans then falls on the ground, and it's just ripple effect, and the puck is in 20 seconds in or something like that. It's stupid. So, what would you guys do in Ducharme's place there when we go to overtime?
Usually because the way the NHL is now with the 3-on-3 overtime, you want to go, personally, I'd put the kids out there, the kids with speed. You obviously want to have maybe Romanov on the back end there, and maybe like Suzuki up front. Have your guys who can move the puck well. And I'm not saying Kulak doesn't do that, but Romanov skates really well and skates really smoothly. I probably would have gone with him, maybe start the overtime, maybe get a little boost. But yeah, that was what I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something I've noticed even last season, seems like Ducharme has a bit of like predetermined notions when it comes to his lineups for overtime, regardless of how the game flow goes. And personally, in my opinion, I feel like the overtime group should be set on who's really buzzing during that game, because momentum is a huge factor. And if you have predetermined lineups, it kind of disrupts that. And like you said, Adrian, I think Romanov would have been a good shout for overtime, maybe Caulfield, the young guys with speed, because guys get tired throughout the game, and younger guys tend to have a little bit more endurance when it comes to those sort of things. So it's a great asset for overtime, and I think the young guys should have been used. And I think Clay could have been a shout too for the first pairing, especially him grabbing a goal there. I mean, it would have been perfect opportunity for him to lead the overtime group, and Ducharme didn't see the same way apparently.
No, that's it. I think Cale Clague would have been the perfect choice to start with, or even just throw in there. I mean, Romanov, he's reliable. You know what to expect from him. Kulak is a bit like unpredictable, okay? Either he's going to give you a highlight reel goal, or he's going to do this. But I think Cale Clague was buzzing tonight, and he was feeling it. Also, Sami Niku could have been a good option. Good puck mover, good skater. But anyways, you learn from your mistakes. I guess we haven't had that much overtime this season, and when we do, there's usually Charrot and Petrie there, the go-to guys, and tonight they weren't there. So maybe Ducharme was a bit, taken aback from that, didn't really know what to do. Guys, I mean, we have to talk about it, right? Galley's disallowed goal. Adrian, jump right into it, buddy. Lay it on us. What did you think?
Man, to be as clean and politically correct as possible, I want to keep it PG here. I was really shocked about the result of that personally. I didn't really see much of Galley. Like I saw Galley was trying to move out of the way a little bit. But unfortunately, again, when you're being pushed into a goalie, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, the NHL continues, not even just with Galley, I find like the NHL continues to drop the ball with a lot of these goalie interference calls. They're not very consistent, right? So it's been not just this season, but for many years I've been watching this game, and it's just frustrating, especially with a guy like Galley that's kind of has a reputation around the league with refs. Since he's been sophomore year, third year in the league, he's been kind of blacklisted by the refs around the league. Doesn't really get much of a break, unfortunately. So definitely should have counted. I think that could have maybe. I mean, the Habs played well tonight, regardless of that goal not counting, but could have definitely shifted the momentum more on our side, I think, throughout the game if that goal stood. I mean, good English.
Yeah, I mean, especially that goal too. I say goal, it should have been a goal, but that disallowed goal happened in the second period, where I think Tampa was kind of leading the way in that period. So that would have been a huge momentum shift, like you said. And when you look at the play itself, the puck's like going in there already, and then Gallagher gets pushed in. I mean, there's nothing he could do in that position. And I don't know, I think the refs, like you said, they really dropped the ball on that play. And we've seen those exact plays happen in the past in the NHL, and the refs explaining that the player got pushed into the net by the opposing team. There's nothing you could do, and the goal stands. And especially like because the initial call was no goal, but then they took a look at it. I thought, okay, maybe they'll take a look at it and they'll get the right call eventually. And even the announcers on I think it was on TSN, I was watching it, they were both shocked. They both believe that goal should have gone in, and I mean they're not really biased either. So like I think that just shows that they dropped the ball on that one.
That's right. RDS as well. I mean, for the people who are watching in French, there, Marc Denis is a former goaltender, and he said that should have been a good goal. That was not goaltender interference because Gallagher was pushed into the net. He couldn't have gone anywhere else. He didn't actually, himself move the goaltender. He was pushed into the goaltender. So that means that if the officials in the NHL stand by that, that means that whenever there's a dangerous situation, we need to tell our defenseman to just push the guy on our goalie, and we'll get called for goaltender interference. Oh, no goal. He hit the goalie, even if he pushed him. So
I know.
The NHL needs to step in here because it's one too many now, and they need to clarify the damn rule. Like, we've been asking for this for years now. It's so unclear. It's so vague. And the players can't even adapt as well, right? They're told one thing at the beginning of the season, and then throughout the season, they keep going back and forth. Oh, wait, no, it's that. No, it's that. Which is it?
It's so frustrating too, guys, because like I remember there was the problems in the playoffs last year is when there's no consistency from the refs. The players aren't going to know what they can and can't get away with, and then you have the controversy with like the makeup calls, and like you have all these problems. And again, like there's no consistency with the officiating, and then like why situations like this happen and why there's controversy. Like sometimes, right? It's just really frustrating. Seeing this again, like you said, guys, like more than once, like it just there's no consistency, there's no clarity. Like it's just so frustrating.
Continue. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. They called this no goal, but you look at Michkov's goal that Shayne, you and I talked about on or to the league, and he's literally like pushed himself into the goalie head first, and that's called a good goal. So if I'm the reffing associations for both the IIHF and the NHL, I mean, you got to have because everyone's talking about it. Everyone's going to be talking about this now, especially with everything that's happening with Michkov. They have to come to a clear understanding and tell everybody what the rule is and have what is the rule shown to everybody clearly, because then it'll be determined whether or not the rule, the play is happening based off what the rule is, or if the refs are just dropping the ball. So for us, it's just, I see no consistency in anything going on nowadays, especially when it comes to potential goalie interference / no goalie interference. And just frustrating to see, especially as a Habs fan. But I'm sure neutral friends could agree with us too that the refs dropped the ball on that one.
And what makes it even worse is that could have been, a game-winning goal in a sense where, we wouldn't have gone to overtime. We would have led by 2. Even if Perry scored, we would have won. So, this is just one example of many, right? This happens all around the league all the time. Coaches and players have bitched and whined about it, and nothing has happened. So, boys, I mean, this is Habs tonight. We're here about positivity. We're not here to bitch and moan. How do we fix this? Adrian, do you have a plan?
I mean, personally, I think the NHL should really, again, reevaluate their officiating. Again, just too many games that have been that have been ruined. You can say because of refs. I find sometimes when I watch hockey, I watch the sport, I watch the NHL, I find the refs again, they try to make it about themselves. Sometimes I've seen that, but again, it's just really frustrating to see. Even there was the one ref before the COVID stoppage last year in 2020 when he told Gallagher to F off or F himself like that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. It was against Dallas and they lost in overtime. You can't be doing that to guys. There's a certain respect, I guess you can say, right? And again, there's refs that have vendettas against certain players, again, Galley, blacklisted by I've seen him get completely like literally assaulted on the ice, and there's no penalties. Like, and I remember years ago during the playoffs, there was like Brandon Prust with that ref. There was the Brad Watson situation. Like, there's just like so many like things like they really have to reevaluate like the system. And then again, I think it was Tim Peel with the makeup call thing last year. They let him go because they got caught, right? Like, there's got to be more accountability than just, oh, because he got caught and it's bad PR if we keep him on, you know. Like, there's got to be more done to it. I think they it's just so frustrating. They won't do anything about it, but they really should. That's just the reality I find.
Well said.
Just being honest.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, Adrian. And I just think the refing is an absolute joke all around, just because of the lack of consistency that there is. If we see this type of thing happening all the time and it getting not called all the time, then we would have an answer to our questions. But with a lot of different plays happening and a lot of different outcomes happening, it makes you ask the question, like, what the hell is going on with the officiating? And there's one comment, I forgot who asked it, that someone brought up that the refs should be answering to the media when it comes to like potentially game factoring calls. And I absolutely agree with that. I think that they're the ones who have a lot of control over the game. And I mean, their voices and their opinions should be heard. I mean, they have to give their explanation regardless. So why not to the media? You know what I mean? But anyways, like you said, Shayne, we're not here to cry about what could have happened. We're here to talk about the good hockey that was played today by the Canadiens. And while we're on topic of good hockey, do you guys want to talk a little bit about Team Canada? It was a barn burner out there.
Baby. 11-2. And we even got producer James jumping on to talk about it. Hit us, James. Hit us.
James.
Yeah.
Team Canada steamrolls Austria, led by none other than protege Connor Bedard, 16 years old, 4 goals. And beauties at that, not just lucky goals, like beauty goals.
I gotta talk about Connor Bedard. So there's a few things here. So thanks for letting me on the show. I mean, wow. What a treat that young man is to watch play hockey. I mean, everyone. So here's the thing. The predicament for the Montreal Canadiens fans now is it was about, Shayne Wright, this draft. He hasn't looked nearly as tantalizing a prospect as Connor Bedard has the last 2 games. And I know it's Austria and it's Czechia, but my God, those goals he scored, all different. Okay, we got give and goes. We got snipes. He had one at the last one. He had the 4th goal was a front of the net, power play style tip, or power player, I should say. And like the variety of moves. I mean, they even moved Shayne Wright off of his line to I think speed things up to his pace. So I don't want to get too excited. I'm trying to contain myself here, but if I'm the Habs, I'm tanking next season too. I'm not saying you're going to get that. So, and I know Michkov is sitting there as well. So it's even like
top 2 is nuts.
Yeah. Now Michkov you don't get for a few years because either has to be some sort of contract buyout or St. Petersburg just says screw off. We have him until 2026. But the talent you can see on both sides of the equation there is amazing. And I think Wright's fine. Like, he's going to be a consensus number 1. He's got the skill set. He's probably more pro ready than Connor is today if you put him in a game. But I just think this tournament's playing into Connor's hands right now. And tonight was just go watch the first 2 periods and just look at the skill. It's unreal.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, I'm excited.
He's a generational talent. It looks like, man, Connor Bedard. He's I've watched clips of him like in his like the junior season there, and my God, he's just a magician with that puck. My God, unreal. That's all I gotta say about him.
And before he scored any goals too, he had one near goal that would have been. It was the play alone was filthy. The dangle that he did, and just the goal absolutely robbed him on that play. But that would have been another highlight reel goal, and it would have been it's like 5th of the game. It's ridiculous. This guy, his family was approached by agents when he was 10 years old. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the amount of skill you need to have to be approached by an agent at 10? I mean, the guy is 16 years old and he's making Austria look like a bunch of pylons on the ice. Like, it's ridiculous. And I mean, I'm the Habs, I mean, there's a big incentive to tank even next season. But like whatever team, if it's not us, whichever team lands him, I mean, they got a bona fide superstar in their team for the next coming years for sure. That draft next year, 2023, it's gonna be a show. I'll tell you.
Do you
that.
think he's gonna be? I project him to be like already Patrick Kane good. Do you think he could be better?
I think he's going to be his own type of player, right?
Think so?
It's easy to make
that's my comp frame right now.
Comparisons, right? You know, I see Michkov as kind of this Kucherov type deal, but like Bedard is so special in the sense, like, okay, yeah, McDavid is special in his own way, Sidney Crosby is special in his own way. Bedard is just like a different kind of special we really rarely see. He's, I guess, small in a sense where on the ice mixed with 19-year-olds, he looks small and he is small and he's getting roughed up, yet he's still able to score 4 amazing goals. Next year, right, when he grows up, matures, physically matures, he's going to be that much better. So what, is he going to score 6 goals a game next year? Like, it's ridiculous. 16 years old. My mind is blown. I can't even speak. My mind is blown. I can't believe this.
It was Austria.
Sky's the limit.
Guys, here's what I put this picture up. This was Austria's goalie. Look at that helmet. I think there's like a sticker on there. That might be a safety sticker or some sort of
original
CSA sticker or whatever.
That looks like the good old fashioned World of Chell helmets that the goalies wear, just the plain white.
I like that.
When you first start playing NHL and you have no credits, this is the helmet you're given.
This is your beginner loadout.
That's like Patrick Waugh and Carey Price when they were rookies. They wore that helmet. I remember Carey Price, his first NHL game, he wore just the plain white mask. I was like, oh man, I love it.
Maybe it's a statement. Maybe he's like, I'm my own guy. I'm like, I'm just coming in clean. I'm coming in clean. I'm pretty sure I saw their backup had the same. It's whatever. Canada, it's the juniors. It was Austria. It was going to be a shit kicking. It was. So who do we play next? I don't even know. But,
Germany.
Oh, that's right.
Tomorrow,
right? Yeah.
Tomorrow.
They played okay.
Don't sleep on Germany. Germany's actually a really good team.
Yeah, Germany's goalie is hot at the moment. Him and Jesper Wallstedt from Sweden are probably the 2 best goalies right now. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be an interesting game. Yeah,
Germany's developed some good players though. Like the last 5-10 years, they won I think they won the Olympic gold in 2018, if I'm correct. And then they got guys like Leon Draisaitl, Moritz Seider. Like, you got some elite talent coming out of Germany now. Not really like, when I was growing up, they didn't really have much there, right? You had the odd player or two, but it's crazy how they've turned it around like that.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a sleeper when it comes to like these big teams, because obviously Germany gets overlooked by teams like Finland and Sweden and Canada and the States, obviously. But no, they like you said, Adrian, they produced some real good talent over these past few years, and I mean, their young guns in the tournament right now look already good. So they're not a team to be taken lightly by any means. And I think tomorrow will definitely be more competitive than the game that we saw tonight. But no, yeah, just
they're a nation on the rise. They're this era's version of Belarus.
Belarus. Forgot to add Tim Stützle on there. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, it's another
good point.
Yeah, very good example there.
Yeah,
but tonight, I mean, we had Captain Canada, future Montreal Canadian, Caden Gooley, had a nice assist. I mean, he played well again. Played well the first game of it too, but that one assist he had there drove the puck and fed it to Gunther, who then passed it to McTavish with, again, ridiculous goal on the goal line. Stupid. But Caden Gooley, shout out to the future Hab there. He played really well tonight.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him come up to the big club. I've seen a lot of highlights of him, World Junior highlights, and like he's a big defenseman. Like, he can skate well, like very mobile. Physical too, so he's gonna fit in just great with the big club whenever he's ready. He's gonna be great.
Yeah.
He's excited for that.
He's already standing out just based off his like aggressiveness as a player and his build and his ability to dish out hard hits and just be solid defensively. But let's not forget, this guy is also a sneaky little goal scorer. I mean, I'm sure once he gets his time with the Habs, he'll be a fantastic asset for us. And he had a great game tonight, like you said, Shayne. And I know Bedard kind of stole the show like Power did the game before, but the rest of the boys too. Perfetti had a great showing.
Oh, yeah.
Shayne Wright looked better this game than he did on the last. I know he got an assist, one of the goals there in the first period. And Power too had a good game. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good for Canada right now. I just hope that we could continue to string wins together, and we'll see how far they can make it. Hopefully, all the way till the end, win the gold. That'd be real something. But they got the team to do it. That's for sure. It's real fun to watch.
Yeah, they can win this one. I think it just takes, again, wait till the competition gets a bit tighter. You'll see Wright and you'll see Perfetti and you'll see the guys that have had a bit of experience on the club play a bigger role, right? These last two games, we'll see. I'm not sold on goaltending just yet either. Like, we'll have to wait and see on that. But, again, Germany will be good. But then once we play, we don't even know, like, what's going to happen with the U.S., right? They've got...
Yeah, COVID outbreak. Yeah, even Switzerland too. Switzerland had a couple of guys get positive test results, so now they got to isolate too. So see what happens there.
Yeah, to touch back on the goaltending there tonight, we saw Brent Brochu, and then tomorrow you have to assume we're going to see Sebastian Cossa making his debut, who was supposed to be, the go-to goalie, right? He's like 6'6". The guy's massive. He's a first-round pick by Detroit, so the potential is there. If he gets going, that's going to be really reassuring because, not to take away anything from Brochu or Garant, who've played so far, but it's not really convincing. Granted, the fact that, we played against Czechia and then Austria, but what will it look like against like Finland, Sweden, the States? Like, those are big teams with firepower up front. You need good goaltending in order to get the gold. So remains to be seen.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Mark.
Sorry. No, go ahead, man.
Okay. I mean, one thing, like, I don't want to like be a downer here, but like one thing I've noticed with a lot of the Canadian World Junior teams from the past is the goaltending has always been kind of like, it hasn't been stellar, but it's been good enough to like for them to win, golds or silvers, whatever it may be. That's just what I've seen over the years. I mean, I remember Carey Price played in the World Juniors in 2007. I remember still watching that. It's unreal. But like, I mean, hopefully they can turn it around. Hopefully the goaltending is a little bit, maybe, a little bit more consistent, I guess. But they're winning games right now, so I guess that's all that matters too, right? So they have a good team up front that can win them games.
Yeah, exactly. I think the goaltending is probably the only real question mark that we have on this team. I mean, we've seen what the offense and defense could do. There's no worries there. But, yeah, I mean, there's no bona fide starter right now. And I think, like you said, Shayne, I think I forgot what his name was, but he should get the start tomorrow. I think Canada are playing around with their options to see who their number one is. And then when they go up against Sweden, they'll put in who they believe their starter is. There's obviously a little bit of backdraw when it comes to that strategy, because when your starter is determined, they play with a lot more nerves. I could say this from experience as a goalie, but so that's why like the goaltending situation does scare me a little bit, especially once Canada gets to those medal stages when it's real important. I mean, you should have your bona fide starter all tournament long, and if they're too late to get to where they need to be in terms of that and to figure out who their starter is, then it could be tough for them come the medal rounds. So I hope they figure it out, and I hope they figure it out quickly.
Yeah, well put.
Did you want to talk about the Marchand comments, Shayne?
I actually did not read the Marchand. I heard about it. I heard that he said something along the lines of, okay, we are not allowed to go to the Olympics, but you're bringing in the taxi squad. I don't know if somebody can paraphrase better than me, but that's
basically, it should have been the player's choice. It was already negotiated in the CBA that, they would be going. And so the league basically full stop said, no, you're not. It's too risky. And I think they got spooked a bit by guys like Pietrangelo being like, no, I'm not sure about this. So they even went ahead of their own imposed deadline of making a decision to say we're not going. When we know that this is Omicron, I'm not saying it right, was it's playing out really quickly. So I guess the debate has been sort of, we're not going to go back on it now, but should it have been an individual player choice to be able to play in the Olympics? Because if you're an NHLer, you negotiated that right. And, he's just pissed off. He wanted to go play for Canada because he's a gamer. Hate him or not, because he's on the Boston Bruins. When he's wearing that Canadian jersey, he's the guy you want. So
Absolutely.
We saw in the World Cup and World Championship, I should say, a few years ago. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
Oh, okay.
I got nothing for now.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, though. I understand both sides of the coin on that one. I understand the NHL. They, wants to keep the players safe, I guess. Also, they've had to cancel a bunch of the games recently. And then obviously with the rules in China, like the quarantine rules, it's like a 5-week quarantine or something crazy like that. So God forbid if there's an outbreak with the Canadian team or the American team or even the Russian team, you got NHLers on those teams. And if those guys have to stay quarantined for 5 weeks, like the season's going to end in like August, right? So I understand that aspect of it, but I also understand the players like Marchand that are frustrated because, again, they were obviously promised, I guess you can say, that they can go to the Olympics and represent their countries. And guys like, Marchand, even Stamkos, I'm really sad because I was thinking about it today, like guys like Stamkos that haven't even played for Team Canada, which obviously one of the best players in the league should, but, guys that don't really, their years are kind of dwindling away, I guess you can say, may not have how much time left, right? So it's I understand both. It's not really fair that the league made a decision without the players' consent, but I also understand it's, the safety aspect of it, and then you just keep delaying the season. So it is frustrating though. I understand why they're mad, and it makes sense to me on both ends, I guess.
Yeah, I think from an organizational standpoint and from the league and just for public health as a whole, I can understand why people would be cautious not to send players over there, just one to just contain the spread of the virus itself. And then if teams are sending their star players like McDavid or Point whoever to the Olympics, Marchand, and they get COVID, they won't have them on their actual team, and then they're the losers of the situation. But at the same time, you could also say that the players themselves are the biggest losers, whatever the case is, because they have the risk of getting COVID and they have the risk of not getting paid for up to 5 weeks. So if the players are okay with going to the Olympics, knowing these risks, then some might say that they should have the right to. And I understand Marchand's frustrations, but like you said, Adrian, I think I could definitely see both sides of this coin, and it's a real tough situation and decisions were made, but you're going to have strong opinions on both sides. So I don't really know what much you could do about that.
Mark made a good point. It's with the consent, obviously, of the PA, but the point being is that they had originally all agreed that this in collective bargaining was going to be part of their rights to go do this. So yes, obviously the players, at least a portion of them that represented the PA, would allow this, but I would agree with him, Marchand, that it's disappointing. I think it's just what it comes down to. It's sad that him, Sid, Stammer, probably there'll be a few that'll be on the next one, like McDavid or McKinnon, but there's a few. Pietrangelo probably not on the next one. If I already guessed. Bergeron. So there's a few. Carey, there's no fucking chance. Sorry, I swear. But yeah, this was it. So, and that has impacts on the fact that if Carey wasn't going to come back for the Olympics, probably not going to come back for, my guess, hot take, you won't see him this season for the Canadiens. So, anyways, this is dominoes, right?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what the decision was going to be, there would be people that were angry, right? You can never please everybody, especially in a situation like this. So like Marco and Adrian said, like there's both sides of the coin, and I guess Marchand is on one side, and we know which side he is. Of course, he's not alone either, right? Stamkos has come out and said how disappointed he is to not have the chance to go, but again, it's such a precarious situation with the health of the players, right? They are humans at the end of the day, and not only to not be able to see their family or come back to their country for 5 weeks if they catch it, but also just catching it itself is scary and dangerous. So, I mean, we all seen here at the Habs Tonight team what it did to Nick, our good friend, our MVP. She should be on her way back soon, hopefully, but it really, it put her on her ass, and she's double vaxxed, thank God, or else could have been worse. But we never want that to happen to anybody. So I guess it's just prevention. Sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's unfortunate.
On that happy note, so I mean, I guess there's another game on Thursday, and then there's a Saturday game, and then we saw that there are going to be more delays for games being played at the Bell Center, which I'm sure we'll dig into a bit more in pre-games. But after this U.S. road trip, what the hell happens, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But what I find interesting is that we're going to Carolina, and then we're coming back to Florida. So whoever made the schedule was a bit drunk there when he made that. But against the Canes is going to be interesting because they don't have Freddie Anderson, so it's going to be Antti Ranta, supposedly. And man, what a wagon that team is. So it's not looking good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be optimistic here, but
I mean, geez, I hope KK doesn't score another burner on us, man. Oh, ouch. That one was like a dagger right in the heart, man. Like, and just, that sucked. That game was like so bad to begin with, I remember, and like not to be like negative about it, but like they got outplayed, and just seeing that goal was just, oh man. It's like, wow. I was shocked that he scored. I was like, and I heard the crowd booing him. I was like, oh man, that's man, it's nuts, man. I mean, I try to stay, the whole Habs Tonight team, we try to stay positive on the team. Like, regardless of the outcome of the games, there is still positives to kind of take out of them, right? Like, again, they played a great game tonight with, a thin roster. One thing I kind of thought about before we got on here was, a lot of those players are from Laval, right? So that's actually a good reflection on the Laval team and the future of the Habs with these guys, them playing good games and stuff like that. So I always try to remember that too. I always got to think forward when they're not playing well, because when they're not playing well, draft picks, prospects, you name it, right? So all the stuff, kinds of stuff like that. So.
Yeah, very well said, Adrian. I think we said this many times. Now's the time to experiment with the young guns. And I mean, we basically had a full roster full of them tonight, and multiple different young guys showed us what they were able to do against a wagon that is Tampa Bay. So it just, right now, even though we lost the game, there's a lot of positives to draw out of it. And seeing the young guys perform, honestly, I couldn't be happier. So, because this really does reflect, like you said, Adrian, our future for the next coming years. And yeah, if these guys keep on, if they continue the way they're doing and they continue to progress, to look at this year as kind of like a development for them and continue to go at the pace that they're going, then yeah, we have a real bright future ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. And I think we forgot to give a shout out to Lucas Vedemo, who also scored tonight. He's actually the best scorer in Laval Rocket history. So good for him. Congrats. But yeah, this is, I believe his second or third goal already with the Habs. He's an interesting prospect, a bit underrated in my opinion. Like, he has good size, good skill. He can put the puck in the net, as we saw. If we develop him right, he could have a spot with the team in the near future, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Like, he's looked great the couple of games he's played up front, and he's, again, if they develop him properly, I think he can end up being a good asset for the team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think him and even Yolanen too. He's shown just positives after positives, game after game he's played. So I'm real excited to see him in the future too, and Clegg as well, and Niku on his return back looked great as well. So yeah, there's a lot of positives to draw from the young guys again.
Yeah, and another kid I say kid, but another guy who had a good night was Cole. Cole Caulfield actually played really well. He got an apple, really nice pass there. 13 minutes on ice only, and 3 shots on goal. So I really enjoyed Cole's game tonight. He was involved, had some nice dangles. Getting this confidence back. So it's always good to see, right?
Yeah, I could agree with you on that. He had a really strong game. He even broke up that 2-on-1, the kind of like the partial breakaway they had, I guess. I think it was I think Montreal might have been on the power play if I'm correct, and he played good defensive game too. But he even had a partial breakaway too later on in the game. But yeah, good for him to get his confidence up and making moves and he got an apple like you said, for only 13 minutes of ice time. But I mean, I think he should be getting more. But hey, pretty good for what he was given, right? So not bad.
For sure.
Nice. So speaking of ice time, like Cole has 13 minutes. Who else played really little? I mean, he played the same amount as Lucas Vedemo. Ilanen had 10. Clegg did have 18, which is nice. Schoenemann only had 11, but Raphaël Larue-Pinard had 9 minutes, which I believe is ridiculous because he had a really good game. So it's interesting to see that Ducharme he seems to be holding on to the hope of winning. Okay, we still have to win. Like, no, it's time to develop the guys. Give them minutes, and it's not happening. It's starting to get on my nerves. Honestly, I've been defending Ducharme a lot, but this is kind of ticking me off a little.
It's time to let it go, man. Yeah. It's just we've talked about it in the show before too. I mean, there's not much consistency when it comes to, because obviously as a coach you want to win and he wants to earn a job for next coming season. So obviously you want to win, but the season, I mean, not to be negative, but we're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So now you have to play your young guys. Like, it's the only thing you could do that will really benefit the team's future. So yeah, it's frustrating to see that the young guys aren't getting as many minutes as they should, even though they're playing well and they deserve more. But just hope that, I don't know if we'll see it in the future, because the later we'll get towards the end of the season, the more Ducharme's going to want to prove that he should be the coach of the Canadiens. So I guess we can hope for the best, but not real optimistic about that one, honestly.
Yeah, like it seems like he's coaching to like try and win and maybe again keep his job past this year, or maybe if they decide to change things up, right, maybe keep his resume relevant for years going over, right, like next season and whatnot. So I think personally, I think Dale might have mentioned it on one of their roundtables. I think he said like, he's kind of playing like he's coaching to, maybe he's coaching to like keep his job kind of thing, and maybe not develop the kids. But I think the biggest priority should always be developing the young players and prospects. I think that's with the situation at hand, and with obviously like the COVID situation with our team and injuries piling up, you got to kind of think like, let the kids play loose, and just let the kids play, give them as much ice time. And we've mentioned here before too, if they make mistakes, that's part of the development, right? So you got to just let them play. You got to let the growing pains are going to be there, but you got to let them play and develop, because that's the only way you're going to have a successful team, I think.
Yeah, and if you suck, you get into the lottery for Shayne Wright or Connor Bedard or Mitchkov. Like, come on. There's reasons to be optimistic either way here.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, no player will ever come out and say that they're tanking, right? That is a myth to anybody who thinks that. I mean, no, if you've played hockey, you'll know that no matter what, you're not thinking about the standings and the draft picks. You're thinking about right now and, getting better yourself, having a good time, having a good game. And I think, if we circle back to being a little more positive, we did have a good game tonight. We didn't expect that. I don't think anybody did, looking at our roster playing Tampa. But, hey, we brought it to overtime. Boys showed out. I mean, there was 2 first NHL goals tonight, a first NHL point for Schoenemann. So a lot of positives tonight, and I think we can be happy of the result, even though we lost. Still 1 point, and if we are, going for Shayne Wright, maybe it's the best thing we didn't win.
Well, and maybe we end on that note, is that you can lose and still build a positive culture. Like, you don't have to suck and feel shitty about yourself all the time. You can be developing. You can have small wins every game, new guys contributing. You can have positive, points to take away from a game. Call them moral losses, right? Mm-hmm. And you can still build a body of work throughout the season. You may not have a great record, but you can still have good culture building. And if you do that and then you start attracting talent through the draft, that's not a bad course to go through. And then people are coming into a situation that isn't shit. Like, you look at Phoenix and you go, well, I don't know what they're building there. But in Montreal, with a great fan base and history behind you, you could build something positive even if you're losing. And I know the fans hate that and they're not used to it. And it's not really been built to do that before. But I don't know. At some point, you kind of have to do it a different way. And the team hasn't won a cup in quite some time now, since the early 90s. So whatever you've been doing the last 25, 30 years isn't working. Try it this way. We're Habs tonight's with you guys.
Yeah. I just, one thing I've noticed, like, again, being a fan for 16 years now, is like, again, they're almost like they're afraid to lose because they don't want the fans, like, they don't want the bad negative reaction from the fans. And a lot of it's been a lot of these, like, pardon my language, but like half-assed, like, rebuilds or retools, right? But I think, like James said, it's not working, right? You gotta have a different approach, right? And it's looking like, with the situation at hand, maybe they're gonna go on a different route. And I think that's the right thing to do. It's the only way to build a winner. That's it. It's the only way. So many teams have done it, and it's
I think a lot of people are scared of it sometimes, but not all change is bad. And sometimes if you have to press the reset button on things and look at the bigger picture for the team's future, you got to do it. And there's a lot of teams, like James said, that they're lost. They don't know really what they're doing. They try to rush things, but the Canadiens seem to have a clear picture for the near and the long-term future in mind. So that's always good to see. And the boys weren't able to quite string 2 wins together tonight, but they were able to string 2 games with consecutive points, right? And we're still technically unbeaten in regular time in 2 weeks. So that's always a positive too, right?
That's good. There you go.
Oh boy.
Most CBAs now, like any pro sports, are geared towards teams winning cheap labor or productive players in the draft at low entry-level contracts, and then having those contribute to winning teams. So in the NFL, like a Russell Wilson, when they won, he was on a rookie contract. Look at Braden Point, like guys you want on your team so you can stack with, high price, contributing free agents or re-signs. That's what you want. The NBA works similarly. Like, you just need to win the draft. I'm sorry. Connor McDavid, that's the kind of guy you're not going to get every year, but you're trying to win the draft. And I have no problem as a fan trying to go that route with the talent that's coming up in the next couple of years. This is as good a time to try that with a team that has no chance of winning a cup now. Let's try that. That's my appeal. I don't care. Like, you can have fun still watching the team.
That's it. We have to remember also the draft lottery is a lottery, right? So if finishing last doesn't mean that we automatically get the first overall pick. So even if we don't, there are some great players in that draft, right? We've seen Brad Lambert is one of the best players in the tournament right now, who is draft eligible. I've heard Matthew Savoie, great player. This is a bunch of other names here I'm not too familiar with, but I know that no matter what, we'll have a new scouting team and we'll have a new head scout. So no more Timmins. We'll have a whole new front office, and I'm really excited for that part of the season.
We don't even know what Gordon wants to do yet. He's been pretty quiet. So
true. It seems like he's kind of going towards the way his body language has been. Is he kind of wants to maybe do his own thing and again a new direction, maybe through a rebuild. I think him and Molson might have said during one of the press conferences back like in November that they're not opposed to a rebuild. So, anything's possible. The ball's in their court, I guess you can say. And anything's possible at this point. So you can see it, and I think it's kind of evident that they kind of need one, but never know, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's been a long show, Shayne.
I think we've touched on pretty much everything, eh?
Well, it's been a while. It's been a while,
Yeah.
Everyone was off for the holidays, so it's been a while.
Good.
I'll let you do the honor. How about I'll hit the little extra outro graphic, Shayne, while you do the outro talking.
Sure thing. Well, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add. I don't know if Adrian and Marco want to add a last little point there.
You go ahead, Marco. I'm good.
Well, yeah, I think we covered a lot tonight, but I think the message for everything going forward is just to stay Habsitive with everything going on. We saw a lot of great things tonight, both with the Habs and Team Canada, and there's hockey to watch going on now. We should be happy that we have hockey right now with everything going on in the world right now. I think we just have to look at positives in life, and especially with the Habs. And there's a bright future ahead of us, and I know right now a little bit shaky, but let's keep our chin ups for the near future.
Damn right. Well said, Marco. Very, very Habsitive there. At the end of the day, right, we wish everybody health and safety to the 9 players that are on the COVID protocol for the Habs and all around the league as well. We wish them all to get better soon. And we always thinking about our good friend and MVP, Nick. We can't wait to have her back on the show. But great game tonight. Even with the result, I think we can all take a lot of positives out of that. And Canada won. So, that's always a plus. So thank you guys. Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. See you all soon, hopefully.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.